Everyone, I got some newbies now with me. I have with me Christopher Grasso, and he is, well, you're the owner of Talented Media. You're a life coach. I want you to tell me, because I kind of, when I started talking to you, I wasn't sure exactly what you do. You have two sides of you, right?
Well, yeah, it's Multi Talent Media, and I started this business during the COVID days about 4 years ago. And my inspiration, not only, well, I was working catering at the time, so I was in fear of losing my job. Turned out I didn't. However, I was kept on the skeleton crew. But on the side, I started this business. The inspiration was to help people who were isolated during the pandemic. Those who didn't have many people to turn to. Maybe they couldn't attend church. So I wanted to be that, that stranger they could turn to. Because I know when a stranger cares about you, that has a powerful impact.
Absolutely. I want to talk about it's life coaching. How do you work with people like that?
Well, when you become a life coach, you have to tap into what your life experience has been. And I'm 54 years old now, so I've lived a little bit of life here and there. And
Not as much as me.
I feel like the young kid on the block here. But there were 4 different areas which I like to delve into. One is spiritual coaching, which is for people whose Christian faith may have become a little vanilla, a little dry, and I try to be an inspiration for them. And also under that, I like to pastor coaches, or coach pastors, I'm sorry. And pastors need our prayers, and also a coach, maybe, so it's not uncommon for them to have one. Another area I work in is with former inmates, the recently or formerly incarcerated. A third area I like to work with is stepdads. I was a stepdad during my first marriage. I have that experience. I know sometimes that can be an undervalued role in society, and so I like to be an encouragement for those men. And then a fourth area is recorded life coaching for people who may not have the time for a one-on-one live coaching. They want to do it on their own time. And I like to mix that with motivational music.
That is pretty cool. I mean, really, I think that's really neat that you obviously are helping the people out there that are lonely. They don't feel like they have anyone to turn to.
Right.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Right.
But I want to kind of go into your recorded sessions, if you would call it that. That is really neat. How do you do that? When you talk with people, you said you have the ability to work nationwide. Obviously, you have to get to know them and what's going on with them. How does that work, and then you end up with a recorded sort of session for them?
Well, I do like to offer a 10 to 15 minute free consultation with people. I mean, if need be, we can go a little longer. However, I like to get to know the person, and if they opt for the recorded coaching, I like to enhance it with motivational music, kind of like being the male counterpart to the Delilah program. Something of that nature.
Go ahead.
And yeah, it's an area that I really I'd love to delve into, because I can select music that I know music pretty well. I can match it to people's personalities and tastes and what they're going through.
That's awesome. I've never heard it done like that, and that's really that's what makes you stand out, I think.
I think so.
Absolutely. Now, your phone number is 480-438-0515. The website is talentedmedia.website. That's what it is,
Yes.
and it's up live there right now. I have to ask you, because when you have a business name, Talented Media, and yet you're a life coach, how do those play together?
Okay, so I mean, if you really look at the word media, all that is a transfer of information. You look at television, radio, live conversation, anything can be classified as media. So that is why I decided to go into that area and incorporate the talents that I've gained over the years.
Pretty neat. You also mentioned incarcerated people, and you know what? I actually know that we're heard there as well.
Yeah.
So I want you to talk about that. I love that you do that.
Well, thank you. It is a way to give back, and I say give back because I was an inmate myself for 5 years.
Okay.
I won't go into my charges, that's for another time, but however, during my time I learned to use those years wisely. And also during that time, many men confided in me. They we would walk around the yard together, and there was a consensus that I was a very good listener, and that is when more seeds were planted to become a life coach. Men just felt they could trust me, they could confide in me, and I thought that was something I could carry forward as I live in free society now.
I want to talk about that for a minute because, people who are incarcerated, these people, they, we think of them, this is a bad thing. No, not necessarily. They want to turn their lives around. You know best, you've obviously been in their shoes. But I also think that people just in general, whether you are there or not, want to be heard. They need advice, right? And they don't want to be blamed. And I think, go ahead.
Of course, and especially in that time, those first several months when they're out, in an ideal world, we would want inmates to have a sponsor, a coach, a mentor, family support. Some are blessed to have one or all of those things. Some do not. So what I do is I come along a recently incarcerated individual. I work with men in that area and give them that support. I also mention on the website that my time can be gifted to someone who's formerly in jail.
Maybe you're listening to this and maybe you have somebody that's there, right? You know someone there, and they're coming out. What a great time to be able to sit and talk. Can you help them with getting back into the community and all of that?
Yes, I can, and just to let them know that they're already in a good place. They're free. They're turning their lives around or making an effort to. So I, as a life coach, that's what I'm there to do, to take people from a good place to an even better place.
His phone number is 480-438-0515. It's talentedmedia.website. Stepdads, you work with them? Why just stepdads? What about stepmoms?
Well, I primarily coach men,
Okay.
but step parents in general sometimes can be very undervalued in this society. One of the most hated comments I ever heard was, "Well, you're not my real dad." That's a very relative term. Biological or otherwise, any man or woman who steps up to the plate, takes on the role of father or mother, should be honored.
Absolutely, I did it, so thank you. It is not an easy position to be in, but you coach them because they're walking on a fine line, right? You know that, you dealt with it yourself. So when you work with these people, you have a consultation with them. You like to do a complimentary 10 to 15 minute consultation.
Yes, ma'am.
And then what happens?
Well, and that hopefully they will work with me on a regular basis. Sometimes it's only for one session, sometimes it's for 2 or 3. And I'm there just to help motivate these men who may think their role is, well, not as significant as biological dad, but it is just as important. And I like to remind them of that and share some of my experiences from the past.
And again, one of the other things that he does is puts motivational music with your taped or recorded, I should say, recorded sessions that you can do too. That's pretty awesome. The website again is talentedmedia.website. His phone number is 480-438-0515. Real quickly, what can you do for people through the multi-talent media? Real quick.
Well, a few of the other services I offer are voiceovers, phone on hold messaging, that type audiobook recording. I also do an individual cast. It's a program called the VIM Factor, where I do what would seemingly be a broadcast, but it's individually catered.
Mm-hmm.
So they can call me for more details or look onto the website.
I would check out the website, and I could definitely see how you could be a voiceover and be in media for sure.
Thank you.
Again, check out his website. It's live today now, so go to talentedmedia.website or call him direct at 480-438-0515.